I spent the last week living on a boat in the Bahamas, and here's some of the good and some of the bad. We flew to Florida and had a layover, so we had to sleep in the airport for a few hours before hopping on the plane and going to Georgetown. The best part about living on a sailboat is that you can do a lot of things you wouldn't normally be able to do for free. So after landing in Georgetown, we took a taxi to the dock where my dad was waiting for us. There he is, going to pick us up, and there we are waiting for him. He decided to stay there because he really wanted us to see the culture of the Bahamas, and he knew that there was a really cool event happening that night that we would be able to attend. Once we got back to the sailboat, we settled in, we took in the view, and we decided to take a nap before sunset. Once it got dark, we went back to land to look at some Christmas lights that were set up and wait for the Junkanoo celebration. There, the drums are being heated up because they have to be a certain temperature for them to be just right. After the drums were ready, the men and the women split up into teams and had sort of a riff-off, dance-off, entire parade, which was a ton of fun and really cool to watch. After a long night of festivities, we went back to the boat and went to sleep. The next morning, we decided to go to an island and start hiking. We left the dinghy next to a dock that looked like it didn't have too much use, but we started to climb up the hills of the Bahamas. We took in the view at the very top, and as you can tell, it was a pretty popular island surrounded by sailboats all around. Then we went to a different little part of the island where there was a bar and a restaurant and tons of people just having fun, playing volleyball, tanning, and all those things. After walking around for a bit, we found an area where there was a bunch of stingrays hanging out and getting fed by the local tourists. They were super friendly, and it was the coolest thing I've ever done. I never thought that I'd be able to feed stingrays in the wild. And as you can tell, I was a little bit nervous and very scared, but they were very friendly, and they were super used to just tourists feeding them and petting them, and we all just had a really good time.
Probably ready for a nap.
After all that fun, we went back to the boat to watch the World Cup final, and were so happy when Argentina won. Then I journaled next to the front of the boat and took in the sights. After that, we went and saw some turtles. We weren't sure if there would be turtles or not because they were wild turtles, but this was a really popular spot for them, and we were really lucky because there was another boat who happened to be feeding them that I think got them to come. When we showed up, there was already 3 really friendly turtles hanging around, playing, wanting to be fed, and getting super close to us. They were very social, and I was kind of nervous since they were wild animals, but they were very friendly and super kind. After that, we decided to go see some pigs. This was definitely the part that I was the most excited about because it was something that I heard was common in the Bahamas, but I had never gotten the chance to do it outside of the Bahamas. So I was super excited to get to this island and see a ton of pigs just hanging out, swimming, going up to people and trying to get fed. Behind my mom, you can see 2 more stingrays that happened to show up because they knew that there was people around wanting to feed them. So we got off the dinghy and immediately started playing with the pigs, trying not to get too close because we didn't want them to bite us or anything if they thought that we had food. But they were super friendly, in fact, a little bit too friendly. One of them was trying to get in the dinghy looking for food, but we managed to get him out without too much of a hassle. And as you can tell, they were not camera shy at all. They're very used to taking lots of selfies and posing for pictures. And those are little piggies. Once we were done with all of that fun, we set sail and went to do something else. We decided to go snorkeling. We went and saw this huge blue hole, which I was too scared to go down into, but my dad was brave enough to go very deep and try to see what he could find down there. The water was super clear, so it made me kind of nervous that you couldn't see the bottom, but my dad managed to see these cool little creatures. And he even saw a lobster that was hiding under some coral and rocks. I stayed near the surface and saw all the bright colored fish. And then after that, we got back on the dinghy and decided to go keep exploring. We found this super cool sandbar that had these amazing intricate patterns created by the high tides and the low tides. As you can see, it made for some pretty interesting pictures. Then after that, we headed back onto the boat and decided to call it a night. We decided to sleep right there, but I think we made the mistake of parking a little bit too close to the island because when we woke up, we had a ton of mosquito bites all over our bodies and we were super itchy for a very long time. Up until this day, we had been pretty lucky with the weather, but this day it was pretty rough and I was battling the beginnings of motion sickness. As you can see, I was trying really hard but putting on a brave face when we hiked up the island. We landed at this island full of iguanas. They were pretty freaky looking and they kind of looked like dinosaurs. There's me washing the dishes and taking a dive to cool off midday. The best part of the boat is whenever you get hot, you just jump in the water. And we play cards whenever we're not sailing. And I love to read and just take in the views whenever we are bouncing around. I didn't expect to have service or be able to watch any of the football games that I wanted to watch, but we have the Starlink on the boat, which is super lucky because it gives us cell service and internet, so I can keep downloading whatever books I want and watching whatever I want to watch. And after a full day of sailing through the storms and not really doing much, we saw a full rainbow, which was beautiful. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.